We are ready to commence with our draft 606. This is part of the North American 606 Classic Series. Exhibitors today are not only competing for the prize money, but they are competing for points, potentially to qualify for next year's championship round. We're very pleased to have Mr. Dean Keeley of Smith Falls, Ontario, who will serve as our judge today. Class is now in progress, and we're showing on the rail at a trot. And we're going to ask Dave Zister to start the reverse. When you get to the corner, please, we'll reverse, starting with the drop-off team. once again, the judge has now called for the entries to reverse. They will cut across the diagonal, and then we'll be traveling the second way of the ring. And we'll come down to the walk. Now, please, gentlemen, all walk. And back to the trot. Now, please, all trot. And we'll start with the drop-off team to line up. If you come around, please, line up. Starting with the Hitch Wagon. How about a nice hand for the two very fine entries we have in our 6-horse hitch competition today. 6-horse hitch was developed back in the days when the combined power of 6 massive draft horses was needed to provide some of the duties that today is, of course, provided by heavy-duty trucks and trailers. Between 1 and 2 centuries ago, a 6-horse hitch was a common scene on the streets of some of the major cities in North America, as various companies used them not only for practical delivery, but used them as an advertising spectacular as their horses and teams were working through the city. The driver holds 6 separate reins laced through the fingers of each hand, and that gives him individual control over each horse. 6-horse hitch made up of 3 teams. The team closest to the wagon is known as the wheel team. They are usually the biggest horses in the team, and their job not only is to be the major part of the pulling of the wagon, but the way their harness is configured allows them to be the ones that actually backs the wagon up, when it was being backed, for example, into a loading yard. Middle team is known as the swing team. They must be very athletic and agile in order to handle that swing pole, and of course the lead team must lead the horse of the team through all circumstances. And it is our pleasure at this time to give the results of today's North American 6-horse hitch Classic Series class. And we congratulate today in first place entry number 168. This is the entry of the Pekin Valley Farm of Chepstow, Ontario. Mr. Dave Zister is the owner and the driver. And we're very pleased to have the 2025 Markham Fair Ambassador to make the presentation of the ribbon. Second place today will go to entry number 169. This is the entry of the Hyjak Farms of New Lowell, Ontario, owned by Peter and Laura Mahar, and Jeff Robbins handles the driving duties for Hyjak Farms. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's offer our congratulations to the winning entry in today's North American 6-horse Hitch Classic Series class. This is the entry of the Pecan Valley Farm of Chepstow, Ontario. David Zister is the owner and the driver. Hufflinger 6-horse Hitch will be next, followed by the Draft 4-horse Hitch. One more nice hand as they exit the ring. Two very fine entries showing here at Markham today. I would imagine that both of these entries will culminate their 2025 season by participating in some of the best at Toronto's Royal Agricultural Winter Fair. And we're now going to call the entry in for the Hufflinger 6-horse Hitch. That'll be followed by the Ontario 4-horse Hitch Series class, and then the Hufflinger 4. Just going to do a quick round